How's it going, guys? Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central here. Just rolling solo. Joe's off today, but just sick to my stomach over these last two games, these back-to-back games with the Habs and the Blues tonight. Just brutal showings in like the second half of the game in both games. Really, just starting with momentum, starting with speed, playing very well, and it just all collapses. But we will get into that right after this. Yeah, so just looking back at Friday night, absolutely brutal to end, right? But to start out, decent effort, quality effort. We were moving the puck well. Just decent start to a game, but you don't close it out, and you let up five unanswered goals, similar to later on uh, Saturday here. Also, another five unanswered goals. Just it's brutal stuff, and you don't want to see that at all. Just looking back at the Habs game on Friday, shots on goal 28 for the Habs, 21 for the Hawks. So outshot once again, right? Face-off percentage 56.9 for the Habs, 43.1 for the Hawks. Power play 0% both sides. Penalty minutes 11 for the Hawks, 7 for the Habs. Hits 22 Hawks. So we were up in that area. Block shots 22 for the Hawks. Giveaways 14 also on the Hawks. So that's where you see where we're just not safe with the puck. Not responsible enough. Really, just in all phases, D zone, neutral zone, O zone. You have to be smart with the puck, and obviously the roster is not all there right now. But you have to play smarter than that. You can't just throw it up blind, center ice down the boards to no one, but just not having puck possession at all. Takeaways 13 for the Hawks, so up there, but just a weird game on Friday here against Montreal Canadiens. Just looking at scoring, staying hot. Connor Bedard, one assist to Ryan Donato, decent shot. Also, secondary assist. Isaac Phillips, thought he's been playing decent, but a few hiccups here and there in both games um, this weekend here. Second period, Jason Dickinson staying hot. He's been unreal uh, for that depth player, right? That middle six type of player. But he has 11 goals on the season now. Uh, I believe that's topping his career high. So that's great for him, right? Whether it's value at the trade deadline or honestly, Joe and I have talked about it, keeping him here for a few years because I think he is a very valuable player throughout the lineup. He could play up and down, really. And that was assisted by Colin Blackwell making a really good play. He's been playing quality hockey since he's returned, and that's great to see for him. Coming off of injury here, Louis Crevier with a secondary assist, his third assist. So he's making a few plays here, and I thought he skated well, but just sometimes I'm noticing like him not playing as tough as his physical build. He's 6'8", and I'm not too sure on the weight. I'm guessing around 200, 220, 215 ish, right? But definitely need to play tougher when you're that size. You can't be getting bumped off the puck that easily in your own zone. Just trying to get the puck out of their zone, and basically everyone just getting outplayed. Second half of games where we're giving up that big lead, right? Gave up five unanswered, and that's not good. Mitchell Stevens, I believe, scored second period there, makes it 2-2 he ties up the game with Josh Anderson scoring that second goal here, assist by Sean Monahan. Just rough goals to give up here. Slavkovsky gets on the board after I'm like watching him play and saying haven't seen anything special from him, and obviously he hasn't been very special yet, right? He's still very very young, but not great. Just not seeing that resilience, bouncing back from these catch ups, right? Like you are giving up this big lead and losing all momentum. Nick Suzuki, he scores in the third period, making it 4-2. David Savard makes it 5-2 for Montreal. Empty netter. Just not how you want to go into this Christmas weekend here, right? Giving up big leads like that, just unanswered goals for a loss it's an absolute heartbreaker, right? You cannot give up 5 goals unanswered, right? Just there's no bounce back from that. And Mrazek was in net. It was not all of his fault. One or two were weird bounces, but thought he played pretty stout overall. But looking at Saturday tonight in net, I guess we could start with Arvid Soderblom. It's not great at all right now. Don't know what's going on with him. Like I said before, goalies are very weird, but this is at a point where he may be the worst goalie in the NHL. And for a younger goalie like that, you want to see development and growth, right? But the NHL is not going to help you develop when you're struggling that bad. It's going to sink him, and it's going to get ugly. It's already very, very ugly right now for Soderblom in net. A few crazy goals here. But just looking at the lineup tonight, it was Foligno, Bedard, Kurashev, Beauvillier on the second line with Dickinson and Radish, Donato, Entwistle, Blackwell on that third line, Reichel, Gutman, Reese Johnson on the fourth line. Again, a weird little line for Reichel there. Gutman and Reese Johnson didn't get much ice time tonight. I believe less than 10 minutes. So it's just not making sense to keep him out of the game like that. I think we've been over it before where what's the harm in having him play? He's a young player, and this is a rebuilding situation. He needs to play. How is he going to improve if he's not on the ice? That doesn't make a lot of sense from Coach Luke there, but I just hope it gets cleaned up with the lineup. And Soderblom is it's very brutal right now, and I think we've looked at like Ronta, what was available, and a few guys like that, but right now Soderblom cannot be in this lineup because you see how the team just it implodes, right? When you give up that flurry of goals, and it is not good at all. Just going over the stats from tonight, 20 shots on goal for the Hawks. Bedard with, probably the most impressive goal of the year for him so far, right? With the Michigan goal in the first period there, just unreal. But 42 shots with the Blues, or from the Blues, just giving up 20 shots in that third period. That was the collapse, and Soderblom obviously let in very, very light goal in the end of the third period there to Justin Falk. it was just rough stuff. 60% faceoffs from the Blues, so that's a very, very big um, uh, difference here, right? With 39.7% from the Hawks from the faceoff dot, not good at all. 50% power play for both teams. Penalty minutes 8 for the Hawks, 4 for the Blues. Hits 33 for the Hawks, 15 for the Blues. Block shots 13 for the Hawks, 12 for the Blues. Uh, Blues had more giveaways and pretty even in takeaways. So, but you see that third period, and it's absolutely brutal. Where the stats are just it's not relevant to that situation, right? Let's see here with the goal scorers really quick, just to recap that. Uh, right here, the first goal, yeah, Robert Thomas. He just roofs it about 3 minutes into the game. Don't like seeing those, right? Within 5 minutes of starting the game, you don't like seeing them get on the board. But Buchnevich, he's been a beast against the Hawks for a little while now here. Um, since him and Thomas are really, really, really playing well. Thomas roofs it 3 minutes in. Bedard, uh, like I said, he had the Michigan goal, so he tied it up 3 minutes 50 um, into that first period. So less than a minute later, right? Beauvillier, less than a minute after Bedard's goal, he gets a deflection goal, a tip in from a Tenorti shot. Good stuff from Beauvillier. He's been playing hard since he's got here. Nick Foligno, awesome goal on the power play, just tipping it in there in front of the net. Colton Parayko gets on the board, makes the game 3-2, but Hawks are still up 3-2. Jason Dickinson, awesome pass from Taylor Radish with 3 assists tonight. Jason Dickinson just staying hot. A goal in each game for the back-to-back games here. He's done everything that you need on the ice, right, and off the ice. But looking at this third period here, this is again the collapse similar to last night, and you hate to see that in back-to-back games like that. But a shorthanded goal from Nick Foligno to start that third period, about 5 minutes into the game, goes coast to coast, shorthanded, just tucks it in on Bennington, makes the game 5-2 Hawks, right? And you think that you could close this one out, right? In the third period, 15 minutes left, play stout. Brandon Saad, he gets the Blues on the board with a tip in about 8 minutes into that third period, makes the game 5-3. So now that's where you're getting nervous, right? That 3-goal lead is the worst thing in hockey. And 3 minutes later, Jake Neighbors, he gets a deflection goal. Not much Soderblom could do there, but now the game's 5-4, and the defense has collapsed at this point. Jordan Kyrou, 5-5, ties up the game, right? Wrist shot, just a good player, Kyrou, right? Assisted by Thomas and Buchnevich, but that's an absolutely, fire line, right? With just offensive output, but you have to make a save somewhere here from Soderblom, and this Justin Falk goal to put the Blues up 6-5. That might have been the worst goal I've seen let up in a very long time. Justin Falk just floats it right towards Soderblom there. I believe it went blocker side. It was an absolute floater. You wouldn't think that's going in the back of the net, but that whizzes past Soderblom somehow, and that was a point where you're just like, Soderblom cannot be in net right now. He can't be with the team right now because he's not giving you a chance to win when you're up 3 goals, right? And 5 unanswered. Yes, one was a empty netter here by Kyrou, so he gets 2 goals on the night, but just brutal collapse in back-to-back games right before Christmas Eve, right? The Grinch just stole potential wins, right? 2 wins here where you're just falling flat in back-to-back nights in less than 24 hours, right? Uh, Not great at all. On the D end, on the offensive zone, also, Coach Luke, um, like I said earlier, he was sitting Reichel, and I believe that fourth line for a little with Gutman, but that's not what you want to see when you give up 20 shots and you have no offensive output in the third period there. You need guys that are just going to go out there and shoot the puck. You have to pressure the other team when they have momentum. You can't just sit back and um, block shots all period long. You have to turn the tide at some point and stop the bleeding there. So an absolute collapse in that third period. Very ugly and spoiled the night really from Bedard's goal. The Michigan goal where you have everyone going crazy, right? But just a brutal, brutal loss tonight from the Hawks against the Blues, and on Friday night against the Montreal Canadiens. Hopefully, we could see something change here in net, or hopefully, guys are healing up here to start the new year. But I believe we don't play till, what is it, Wednesday or Tuesday. So we will be back next week. Obviously, happy holidays for everyone. Hope hope these back-to-back games didn't really spoil the holidays here, but definitely not great and a brutal end, right? Just spoils it. But we will be back next week, Joe and I, to cover the. Believe we are playing the Stars. Yeah, so that's Tuesday or Wednesday. So that should be a fun game. Great team. Hopefully we could turn the tide a little here and just brighten it up, really. Yeah. So happy holidays for everyone. Keep an eye on the Twitter account here. I bet there's going to be a lot of news in the near future. Hopefully, right? If there's a change or not with players getting healthy or possibly a change in net, whether it's Soderblom, going back to Rockford, or a little move here for another veteran, just to keep the ship afloat, right? Just to keep the confidence up. But we will be back. So thanks for listening in. Keep an eye out for that account. Updates will be rolling, but we will be back next week. So we will see you then, and let's go Hawks.